Just think about it. The most brilliant mind in modern history wasn't special because of what he knew, but because of how he thought. Here's the thing about Albert Einstein that most people overlook. He wasn't the top student in his class. He failed his first university entrance exam. He worked a desk job while developing the theory that would change physics forever. And yet, cognitive psychologists who've studied his journals, letters, and self-reported habits keep arriving at the same conclusion. His thinking patterns were distinctly, almost unusually, different from the average person's. And here's what makes that genuinely fascinating. Many of those patterns are learnable. Today, we're going to walk through 10 of Einstein's core thinking patterns, not as a motivational checklist, but as a genuine psychological lens. Because when you look closely, many of these patterns map directly onto what modern neuroscience and behavioral psychology now describe as the habits of deep, creative, adaptive thinkers. So, as we go through these, ask yourself honestly, do any of them feel familiar? Pattern 1. He thought in pictures, not words. Einstein famously said he rarely thought in language. His ideas arrived as images, feelings, and spatial sensations first. Words came later. Psychologists call this visual spatial reasoning, and research consistently links it to creative problem solving. If you've ever found yourself seeing a solution before you could explain it, your brain might be working in a similar register. Pattern 2. He ran mental experiments obsessively. The thought experiment, or Gedanken experiment in German, was Einstein's favorite cognitive tool. He imagined riding alongside a beam of light before he had a single equation to support it. This is mental simulation, the brain's prefrontal cortex constructing hypothetical scenarios to test ideas without real-world cost. It's one of the most powerful and underused thinking tools available to all of us. Pattern 3. He combined things that didn't obviously belong together. Einstein was a devoted musician. He played violin his whole life, and he often said music helped him think through physics problems. Psychologists call this combinatorial thinking, or divergent cognition, the ability to pull ideas from seemingly unrelated domains and find unexpected connections. Studies on creative cognition show this cross-domain thinking is one of the clearest markers of original thought. Pattern 4. He questioned assumptions everyone else accepted. Before Einstein, time was assumed to be absolute, fixed, universal, flowing the same for everyone. He simply asked, what if it isn't? That question, directed at something everyone took for granted, unlocked special relativity. Psychologists refer to this as metacognitive awareness, the ability to notice your own assumptions and hold them up to scrutiny instead of letting them quietly govern your conclusions. Pattern 5. He simplified relentlessly. There's a well-known principle sometimes attributed to Einstein. If you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough. Whether or not he said it exactly that way, his working style reflected it. He stripped problems down to their most essential components. In cognitive psychology, this connects to reducing cognitive load. Our working memory has real limits, and simplification isn't dumbing something down, it's making it workable. Consider this for a moment. We're halfway through these patterns, and you may have already recognized one or two in yourself. That recognition, it's not accidental. These aren't genius-only traits. They're thinking patterns that exist on a spectrum, and awareness of them is the first step toward using them more deliberately. Pattern 6. He let his mind wander on purpose. Einstein was known for long, unhurried walks. He napped frequently. He stared out windows. What looks like idleness is actually something neuroscience now takes seriously. The default mode network, a system in the brain that activates during rest and is deeply involved in creative insight, self-reflection, and connecting distant ideas. Constant stimulation suppresses it. Boredom, paradoxically, can be a cognitive asset. Pattern 7. He was driven by curiosity, not performance. Einstein's motivation was intrinsic. He wasn't chasing grades or approval. He was genuinely captivated by how the universe worked. Psychologist Edward Dici's research on intrinsic motivation shows that people driven by genuine curiosity show deeper engagement, more persistence, and more creative output than those motivated primarily by external rewards. Curiosity, it turns out, is not just a personality trait, it's a cognitive strategy. Pattern 8. He embraced uncertainty without anxiety. Einstein sat with open, unanswered questions for years, sometimes decades, without forcing premature conclusions. Psychologists call the opposite of this closure seeking, the tendency to resolve ambiguity quickly, even at the cost of accuracy. The ability to stay comfortable with, I don't know yet, is closely linked to deeper, more nuanced thinking, and it's something most of us actively have to practice. Pattern 9. He maintained childlike wonder well into adulthood. Einstein often said that he had no particular talent, just a passionate curiosity. Psychologists who study awe and wonder as cognitive states find that they reliably expand our thinking, reduce egocentric bias, and increase our openness to new information. Most adults gradually lose this orientation as certainty and routine take over. Einstein, unusually, kept it as a deliberate posture toward the world. Pattern 10. He treated failure as data, not defeat. Einstein's path to his greatest insights was full of wrong turns, abandoned theories, and public criticism. But psychologist Carol Dweck's research on the growth mindset maps exactly onto how he processed setbacks, not as evidence of inadequacy, but as information that redirected the next attempt. Resilience in thinking isn't about being unaffected by failure. It's about what cognitive meaning you assign to it. Here's the quiet insight underneath all 10 of these patterns. Einstein wasn't operating in a different cognitive universe from the rest of us. He was using the same brain architecture, the same prefrontal cortex, the same default mode network, the same capacity for curiosity and imagination, but he was using it in ways that most people aren't taught and rarely practice. The question isn't whether you're capable of thinking this way. Research strongly suggests you are. The more interesting question is which of these patterns you already use naturally and which ones you might be leaving on the table. Think about that one.